Hey guys, since I edit my videos with Fillmore Go and Apple, some of the worst editors ever, I have to wait 11 seconds before the video starts. Now, Good Mythical Morning is one of the longest running internet shows on the internet. It stars Red McLaughlin and Link Neal, two YouTubers who've been on this site longer than most. They started the show Rent and Link back in 2006 and began the Good Mythical Morning Show in 2012. And it originally began as a podcast, but over time, it slowly drifted away to become an everything show. One day they could be eating weird popsicles, and the next day they could be playing Cookie Dough Pictionary. It was an everything show. If they had the budget for it, they'd probably do it. But then they drifted away from that, and that's when their downfall began. All thanks to a little girl named Susan Wojcicki. Anyway, I decided, since the show was about to hit its 2000th episode, why don't I go through and watch every episode? What do you know? 2 years and 2 months later, here I am. I watched every episode, and while I'm doing it. Before I start going through them, I would like to say that when most people do I watched every blank episode, they go through each episode and rank it. There are 2,000 videos I have to go through. If I probably ranked them all, we would be here for a long time. It would be a long video. A long enough video that probably won't even upload on my phone. More or less even be allowed on YouTube for being so long. So I decided we're going to go by season. I'm going to review each season, rank it on a scale 1 out of 10. And then I'm going to review an episode from this season that has been randomly picked to just show what an average episode is like. And then we move on to the next season. And again, another rule, I'm not adding in LTAT or Mythical Kitchen. They're not Good Mythical Morning products, but I am adding in Good Mythical Summer. I'm going through all technically 22 or 23 seasons. I'll put up the correct number right now. So, how many seasons there are, I'm going to rank them against one another. And just to say, I don't care. Some people, I've heard, think that season 18 is when Good Mythical Morning changed. I could be the exact opposite of that. I hate season 18. But if you agree with that, don't get mad. It's just my little dumb opinion. Anyway, let's begin with season 1. Hey, that's pretty good. Season 1 is pretty good. When I first started watching all the episodes, I did not see an episode from season 1. Most people don't, actually. Most people find them boring. But if you actually sit down and watch them, hey, they're pretty good. Most episodes range from Link talking about something weird that happened to him, like a bunny taking habit over a children's park, or Link watching both of their kids. It's a great season, alright. It's pretty good. I like it. Like I said, most people don't. If you like those episodes where they tell a story, which are these, but if you just like hearing stories from them, just want to know a little bit more about them, watch the season. You will not regret it. I thought I would regret watching it, but look where I am now. I'm a changed man. I love these. I don't know where this is going to go on the scale, because I have nothing to compare it with. But I want to give it a 8 out of 10. And let's see what episode the random number picker picks for us. Okay, so I just ran the numbers, and they randomly picked number 61, aka Secret Tapes of Rhett and Link. I really like this episode. It's just a coincidence how this one got picked. This one is funny. It's because it explores the ignorance of a child. Of two now very funny, well, not funny anymore, but at the time funny people. It shows Rhett and Link as they made fun of newscasting as a parody. I just said season 1 was good. And season 2 is too, don't get me wrong. But just most of the episodes are forgotten. They seem like a ghost town. If these episodes were a place, they'd be a ghost town. If you watch a single video, you'd probably be the only one to do so this month. Possibly even this year. Most of these episodes are abandoned, which they heavily do not deserve. They're just as funny, just as likable as any episode in season 1. They even made a weird puppet show this series that I really liked when I started doing that. Like, that's what I looked forward to anytime I started binge watching them for the night. Oh, look, it landed on Thursday one time for a parody sci-fi Rhett and Link time travel puppet thing. I forgot what it was called. It's called Time Rangers. That's what it was called. I remember that. They ain't really funny now. But, I mean, it's amazing how Rhett and Link could just do puppeteering like that. It's pretty good. The season's pretty good. I mean, it ain't as good as season 1, but it's pretty decent. It gets a solid 6.5 out of 10. I know that sounds a little bit short, but it's a little mix of mediocre, decent, and great. Anyway, let's see what episode this generator picks. So, it turns out this generator picked the episode Becoming a Crazy Parent, where Brent realizes that he's becoming a crazy parent for freaking out and filming his older son doing diving lessons. Just how they tell stories is an art in itself. They can tell a story with expression way more. I mean, I never thought of this till now. They should bring back, like, the story time telling stuff. I'll be fine with it. I think a lot of people will be fine with it. This is pretty good. Anyway, let's move on to the 3rd season. Season 3 is when the show kind of starts to drift apart from being a podcast. They're now doing more taste tests and games in this season than probably both combined right now. This episode has a lot of good ones, like Walmart taste test, and some good jokes, and some amazing stories. But when an episode's just mediocre, there's not a meh video in it. It's either absolutely bad in this season or absolutely good. But the good is like 85%, and the bad is 15%. This season is pretty good. I like how it's now a little bit more modern. It's taste test. It's starting to become an everything show. Like the golden age of Good Mythical Morning that most people would say is beginning right now. I don't know what to say about this season. It's awful. It ain't awful by like season 18 standards, but most of them are mediocre. There's a few that I like. That habanero video where they both eat a ghost pepper. No, it was a ghost pepper, not a habanero. They both eat it and Link freaking out is funny. Is as funny can be. But most of these are mediocre. It also doesn't help that they decided that Good Mythical Morning, the main show, they turned the main show into the side show, and the side show into the main show. Good Mythical Morning became the big show that was 10 minutes long, while Good Mythical Morning was now only shortened to 6 minutes. What a dumb move. People bring up the expanded format more than this. The expanded format actually makes sense. This doesn't. Let's see what the generator has brung up for us. In this episode, we get to celebrate Rhett's birthday. And it's a great celebration. There's cake. The happy birthday song thing is funny because actually, happy birthday song is copyrighted. I think it's actually one of those useless facts that everybody who uses Twitter thinks is cool, but it's not. Hey, this season's pretty great. This season is very great. It has some never before seen rare stuff. Nothing is like it. Nothing is like it, and it's like no taste tests are like it. Well, I mean, there are, but they're different. They kind of took what season 4 did with the Good Mythical Morning, Good Mythical More thing, but they eased it. Now Good Mythical Morning is the main show, and Good Mythical More is the cool kid after party. They started officially breaking away from it, and it became its all-new show. I know I said some good stuff about the last 4 seasons, but it's kind of good to get back to see what this show really is. Some people think it's been good since the beginning to like what I think is the end. Some people think season 3 started it, but most people think that the show starts getting good around season 5. And you know what? I don't blame them. Season 5 it's pretty good. Like I just said, it's amazing. It has some great jokes. The 400 Time song is amazing. Great stories. I can go on and on. Let's see what the generator has to pull out. I'm pretty sure it's going to be something good. The generator gave me number, I forgot what number, what was it? Let me check. 15, which is 6 ways of how to cry. This is like something that they would do in season 9 or 10. Try and make themselves do something, like in the Let's Get Weird With It. Let's Get Weird With It is, again, a beloved series, or to me, on Good Mythical Morning. They would later do stuff like duct tape, see who could not cut. They get really creative with this. So, Season 6. Season 6 is amazing. It is truly the best season of Good Mythical Morning. And I know a lot of people might say, Object, how do you know? You're only a quarter of the way in. Well, trust me, man. I know. Everybody at least has one good video that they like in this season. All these episodes are likable according to the right person. This is when Good Mythical Morning was at its peak. A lot of people started watching this show and accepting it's the new Good Mythical Morning show by season 6. Season 6 is when it started becoming a podcast and more of an everything show where everything and anything can happen. That's what makes this season so special. When I first figured out that Good Mythical Morning exists, around like September of 2016, I watched season 6 episodes. I don't really know why, I just did. They were just like the most popular, like Will It Deep Fry, and they just led me down a rabbit hole of this was yesterday's GMM, and that was yesterday's GMM, and I kept on going backwards and backwards and backwards until do plants have feelings, and then I just started binge watching everything after that. Yes, I actually did do that. yeah, so this season is great. It is great. This season's great. It's amazing. It's some of the best content put on the website. I think that might be a little bit too big, but yeah, it is, if we're talking about Good Mythical Morning here. Anyway, let's see what the generator gives us. So, I got an episode that I really used to like back in the day, and it was about underground cities. These episodes really don't get the fame that they deserve when it comes to Good Mythical Morning. They're kind of like those bad top 10 lists like Watch Mojo, Chavos, what's the guy's name? This guy? I forgot his name, I haven't looked. Those like clickbaitable top 10 lists are bad because they had no effort put in it. They're just like, number 10, 3 facts, a real corny joke, like a real awful joke. Repeat this 10 times, have an honorable mention to prove that you care, even though you don't, and have an outro to also make people think that you care, even though you don't. What I'm trying to get across here is top 10 videos are awful. But I haven't even talked about this video yet. Yeah, this video is great. They spend each time on it. I learn everything I want to know about these cities. And they're just cool places to be. I'd like to go to one at one point in my life. Anyway, I think I've spent a little bit too long on this season. What's next for season 7? Season 7 is the next counterpart to the Golden Age. It's not as good as Season 6, and it is not as bad as Season 5. It's a kind of in between the good seasons. It's in second place right now, which, don't get me wrong, is not that bad. It has a pretty great season. It's a pretty great season. It has some classics in this one, like Will It Pizza, How to Cure a Spicy Tongue, stuff like that. Yeah, the season is okay. It's pretty good. Pretty good is how you describe this one. Like a 7 out of 10 on my book. Let's see what the generator gets us for this season. And surprisingly, I got 53 out of the 135 in the ranking section. And episode 53 is the classic Will It Shoe. This is a great Will It episode. It's slightly funny, and how they got the shoes made is pretty cool. I mean, I never think to have a Lego shoe, and that butter churn shoe is amazing. Hey guys, Object here. It's around 10 o'clock. Just finished up editing this part of the video. I decided to make it a part 3 thing to also, like, make it cool. So it's like, wow, part 1, part 2, part 3. And also because this video would be ridiculously long, and I cannot export it to YouTube if it's that long. So I'm going to cut this video up into 3 parts. Part 2 will be coming out next Thursday. Anyway, I'll see you all Monday.